Hello everyone. So today we are going to start new topic from the dental material, that is cavity liners, varnishes and bases. It is very important topic and very easy and simple topic. Nothing is hard in this topic. So let's start. So why we are using cavity liners, varnishes and bases is very big question in front of us. So for the pulp protection we are using cavity liners, varnishes and bases. So we know that our tooth is made up of various tissues. It consists of enamel, dentin, cementum, pulp. So our teeth is made up of various tissue, and we also know that pulp is the soft tissue. It is also living. It consists of nerve supply, blood supply, and it also consists of nociceptors. That is, pain receptors are present in the pulp. So any irritation will pulp result in the pain. So we have to protect the pulp. So pulp protection is very important step, and it is the only tissue in the tooth which has blood supply and nerve supply. So pulp protection is important. So for the pulp protection we can use liner or bases or varnishes, but there are different situations in which we have to use them or in which we can't use them. So we are going to discuss about the situation in detail. So first in this lecture we are going to discuss about the varnishes. So application of cavity liners, varnishes and bases is dependent on various situations. So what are these situations? So always whenever you have to protect the pulp, then think about the thickness of remaining dentin. So RDT, that is remaining dentin thickness, is very important for the pulp protection. So if remaining dentin thickness is more than 2 mm, then you can use cavity varnishes. And if remaining dentin thickness is less than 2 mm but more than 0.5 mm, you can use bases. And if remaining dentin thickness is less than 0.5 mm, then you have to use only cavity liner. So this is difference between use of cavity liner, cavity varnish and bases. So remember this difference. So what do you mean by cavity varnish? So cavity varnish is a solution of one or more resins which are applied onto the cavity walls, evaporates, leaving a thin resin film that serves as a barrier between the restorations and the dentinal tubule. So cavity liners is the solution of one or more resins. So remember this is MCQ. It is the solutions of one or more resin dissolved in organic solvent like alcohol, acetone and ether. So it is the natural gum such as it consists of natural gum such as copal, rosin or synthetic resin dissolved in organic solvents such as alcohol, acetone or ether. So remember that cavity liners are the solution of one or more resins dissolved in organic solvent. This is MCQ type of question, and then we will apply them onto the cavity walls, and after application solvent will evaporates and this will leave thin resin film, and that will serve as the barrier between the restoration and the dentinal tubule. So remember the example of nail paint. So whenever we apply nail paint onto your nail, then after some time liquid will evaporate and there will be thin film on your nail. So it is same as the cavity liner. So example, so to remember cavity varnish, you can remember the example of the nail paint. So it is same as the nail paint. So whenever you will apply cavity varnish on the cavity walls, after some time solvent will evaporate and it will leave thin film, and that thin film will act as barrier between dentinal tubules and the restoration. So first I will tell you about why we are using cavity varnish if remaining dentin thickness is more than 2 mm. So if remaining dentin thickness is more than 2 mm, it is sufficient for the insulation. It is sufficient for the protection of the pulp, but we know that dentin consists of dentinal tubules, and due to that dentinal tubules, dentin is the porous, and from that pores mechanical irritants, thermal irritants can enter to the pulp and can irritate the pulp. So for the pulp protection we have to block these dentinal tubules. So due to this porous dentin we have to block these dentinal tubules. So for that we will apply the layer of the varnish, and this varnish will block the dentinal tubule and it will protect the pulp. So this is the so this is about the use of varnish. So why we can use varnish if remaining dentin thickness is 2 mm. So this is the answer of this. So now the application of the cavity varnish. It reduces micro leakage around the margins of newly placed amalgam restoration, thereby reducing post-operative sensitivity. So we know that this advantage of amalgam restoration is post-operative sensitivity. So for this, so to prevent this, we can apply layer of the varnish. It reduces the passage of irritants into dentinal tubules from the overlying restoration or base, example silicate. So we know that it will block the dentinal tubules and it will reduce the passage of irritants into the dentinal tubules. In amalgam restoration, they also prevent penetration of corrosion products into the dentinal tubules, thus minimizing tooth discoloration. So as dentinal tubules are blocked due to varnishes, so it will not allow any type of irritant, any type of corrosive products or any type of mechanical thermal irritant into the dentinal tubules, and hence it will protect the pulp. So as corrosive products will not enter the dentinal tubule, it will minimize the tooth discoloration in the amalgam restoration. This is also the application of cavity varnish. Varnish may be used as the surface coating over certain restoration to protect them from dehydration or contact with the oral fluids. Example silicate glass enamel restoration. So we can apply the layer of varnish on the surface of the tooth. On the surface of the certain restoration, we can apply the layer of the varnish to protect them from the dehydration or contact with the oral fluid. So to protect them from to protect the restoration from the dehydration or contact with the oral fluids, we can apply the layer of the varnish on the restoration also, and we can apply them on the cavity walls also. So this is about the use of the varnish. Varnishes may be applied on the surface of the metallic restoration as a temporary protection in cases of galvanic shock. So in cases of galvanic shock, we can apply these varnishes on the surface of the metallic restoration as a temporary protection in cases of galvanic shock. When the electrosurgery is to be done adjacent to the metallic restorations, varnish is applied over the metallic restorations, serve as the temporary electrical insulator. So it is also the temporary electrical insulator. Fluoride containing varnishes will release fluoride. So if we have fluoride containing varnishes, then they will release fluoride and they will prevent the caries, and hence they have the anti-cariogenic property, and they will reduce the secondary caries. So this is about the application of varnishes. Now it is supplied in various form. Liquid in dark colored bottles. So it is supplied as liquid in dark colored bottle, and commercial names are Harvard Lac, Came Varnish, Secura, Fuji Varnish, that is GIC. So this is the commercial name, that is Harvard Lac, Came Varnish, Secura, Fuji Varnish. So remember these names. Now the composition. So natural gums such as copal, rosin or synthetic resin dissolved in organic solvent like alcohol, acetone or ether. So it is the resin. It is natural or synthetic resin which is dissolved in organic solvents like alcohol, acetone, ether. Medicinal agents such as chlorobutanol, thymol, eugenol may be added. Some varnishes contain fluoride. So fluoride containing varnishes are also there. Fluoride containing varnishes will help us to reduce the secondary caries. Now the properties of varnishes. Varnishes neither possesses mechanical strength nor provide thermal insulation because of thin film thickness. So they don't have mechanical strength, and as well as they don't have thermal insulation, because we know that if remaining dentin thickness is more than 2 mm, it will insulate the pulp. Thermal insulation is there, but we only want to block the dentinal tubules because due to this porous dentin, any irritants will enter the restoration, or any irritants can enter the restoration and they will irritate the pulp. So only use of varnish is to block the dentinal tubules. So they don't have a mechanical strength, or they will not provide thermal insulation because of the thin film thickness. The film thickness ranges from 2 to 400 micrometer. The solubility of dental varnishes is low. They are virtually insoluble in water. So solubility of varnishes is low. They are insoluble in water. Now the manipulation. The varnish may be applied by using a brush, wire loop, or small paget of the cotton. So we can apply them with the help of brush, wire, or with the help of cotton pellet, or with the help of piece of the cotton. Several thin layers are applied. Each layer is allowed to dry before application of next layer. So why we are applying several layers? Because if we will apply first layer, then porous surface will remain, because porosity will not we will see porous surface, we will see porosity after the evaporation of the first layer. So after that we will apply the second layer, and this porosity will be covered by the second layer. So in this way we can apply several layers. When the first layer dries, small pinholes develop. So when the first layer dries, there will be small pinholes. So to block these pinholes, we can apply second layer. These voids are filled by the succeeding varnish applications. The main objective is to attain a uniform and continuous coating. So to get uniform and continuous coating, we can apply several layers. So remember that varnishes are applied in several layers. Now the precautions. Varnish solution should be tightly capped immediately after use to prevent the loss of solvent by evaporation. So they should be tightly capped immediately after use to prevent the loss of solvent by evaporation. It should be applied in a thin consistency. Viscous varnish does not wet the cavity walls properly. It should be thinned with the appropriate solvent. So varnishes should be thin. Viscous varnishes will not wet the cavity walls properly. Excess varnish should not be left on the margins of the restorations, as it prevents proper finishing or of the margins of the restorations. Now the clinical considerations. When placing a silicate restoration, the varnish should be confined to the dentin. Varnishes applied on the enamel inhibits the uptake of the fluoride by the enamel. Now the contraindications. Composite resins. So in composite resins we can't use varnish because it will interfere with the curing of the composite resin. The solvent of the varnish may react with the resin, so it will react with the resin. So we can't apply them under the composite restorations. In the under the glass ionomer cements we can't use them. Varnish eliminates the potential for adhesion if applied between the GIC and the cavity. But we can apply on the surface of the restoration. So we can apply layer of the varnish on the surface of the GIC restoration, but we can't apply applied it between GIC and the cavity. When therapeutic action is expected from the overlying cement, example zinc oxide eugenol or calcium hydroxide. So these are the contraindications. Now the fluoride varnishes. Fluoride varnishes are used to prevent or arrest tooth decay in smooth surfaces in young children, especially when applied before age 3 as their teeth erupt. So we can prevent the caries and we can apply them before age 3 as their teeth as the teeth of these children will erupt. The taste does not appear to be offensive, so it is considered acceptable to young children. The technique is well accepted by parents. It hardens on contact with the saliva and stays in contact with the teeth for several hours or day, but is not meant to adhere permanently. Families should be told that their children can eat and drink afterward, but they should not brush the teeth until the next day or at least 12 hours later, as it may remove some of the varnish. Most protocols suggest 2 applications as per year, although some recommend up to 4, with the first ones occurring fairly close together or in the first 1 to 2 weeks. So we can apply this varnishes to prevent or arrest the tooth decay in smooth surfaces in the young children. So this is the so we can apply fluoride varnishes for the prevention only. So we can apply them as the anti-carcinogenic material. So trade names are Durafate, that is Colgate Oral Pharmaceutical, INEC, Durafloor, floor protector, cavity shield. So these are the trade names of the fluoride releasing varnishes. So remember them. Composition varies depending on the particular brand. It contains concentrated fluoride dissolved in organic solvent. So they consist of concentrated fluoride which is dissolved in organic solvent. One varnish, Colgate Durafate, contains 22,600 ppb sodium fluoride. Another product, Floor Protector, that is Ivoclar Vivident, contains 0.1% fluoride in ethyl acetate, and isoamyl propionate contains 21% of fluoride, and isocyanate contains 12% fluoride. So this is about the composition, that they consist of concentrated fluoride dissolved in organic solvent. Now the manipulation. So fluoride varnishes are painted on the teeth using special tiny brush. The teeth are cleaned with toothbrush first and then dried with the gauze square. Professional tooth cleaning with the prophylactic paste is not indicated. Some varnishes are colored and visualization during placement. So first we will clean the teeth. We will tell the child to clean the teeth with the brush, and after that we will apply layer of the varnish with the help of tiny and special brush. So this is about the fluoride varnishes. So this is the application of Durafate varnish. See the picture, and first A figure is the A diagram is the diagram of the Colgate, that is Durafate, and B diagram is of the Floor Protector. Contraindications: varnish should not be used in cavitated carious lesions because the caries may spread to other portions of the tooth, but can be used to remineralize white spot lesions. So we can use them on to mineralize the white spot lesions, but we can't use them in cavitated carious lesions. So this is about the varnishes. So we will revise it quickly. This is the picture of the varnishes. This is the diagram of the Secura varnish, and this is the Fuji varnish. So what are the varnishes? We are using varnish for the pulp protection. If the remaining dentin thickness is more than 2 mm, we can use varnish. Main use of the varnish is to block the dentinal tubules, because we know that dentin is made up of dentinal tubules, and due to these dentinal tubules dentin is porous. So to block these porosities we can use varnishes, because if 2 mm remaining dentin thickness is there, it is sufficient for the thermal insulation, and but due to these porosities, mechanical irritants, thermal irritants can enter through the restoration into the dentinal tubules, and this can irritate the pulp. So for the pulp protection we can use cavity varnishes. What are the varnishes? These are the natural gum or synthetic resin dissolved in organic solvent like alcohol, acetone, ether, etc. We can use them for the various purposes. Under amalgam restoration we can use cavity varnish, and we can apply the layer of the varnish on the surface of the GIC restoration and other restorations. They are supplied in various forms. Commercial names are also various. So this is about the varnishes. They are contraindicated under the composite restoration and GIC restorations, in between the cavity and the GIC restoration. Varnishes are present in various types. Fluoride varnishes are also there. So we can use fluoride varnishes in the young children. We can use them to prevent the arrest of the tooth, prevent or arrest the tooth decay in smooth surfaces. So this is about the varnishes. So remember its application. It is available in various forms. Its composition, properties, manipulation. It is same as the nail paint. So remember the example of nail paint whenever you will apply the layer of the varnish. So this is about the cavity varnishes. And if you are understanding my lectures, then please like my videos, subscribe my channel, and share my videos with your friends and family. Thank you so much. And if you have any doubt, then you can comment. I will try to solve your doubt.